have ultimately, as Alan has said, Jersey Development Company has assets, and some of those assets were cash resources, which we have used to fund the pre-development, in accordance with our remit, to fund all the pre-development expense. So all of the planning applications have all been using our cash resources. Going forward, the construction of the buildings will be using third-party private finance, no state fund.
So you're going to borrow?
We will be borrowing, yes, as any other, which we will be paying back on the sale of the buildings.
Okay, can we?
By a minister that you might not be able to sell the buildings, you might be in a situation where you're stuck with the buildings, you don't have a buyer, and what you're getting is income rental.
The income rental from these completed buildings will more than cover the capital and interest repayments and will provide a significant dividend back to the states. And that ultimately is what Alan has said earlier, is an alternative strategy.
This is why people get peed off. That same minister told me you can't mix income and capital. He told me that the income rental would go towards income projects and capital goes towards capital projects.
I think there's been a commitment made in the States that the receipts from the development, whether they be income or capital, will be used for investment in St Helier and for regenerating other parts of St Helier.
Excuse me, could I just ask, will the power of the people be able to stop this, or was it set in stone that it's going to go ahead?
Okay. Well, I think that's probably an apposite time for me to sum up what I think the next step of this meeting is, and I think it has been a good level of debate and there's been a lot of input. But what I'm not going to ask you tonight to take a vote on is whether you support the development or not, because I've been slightly remiss in telling you that there is a scrutiny review that's currently going on, and that's the basis on which I've lodged a proposition, is to say to the states, which I think is entirely reasonable, and no matter what your politics are, scrutiny is there to provide a function, it is autonomous, and they've chosen to look at this issue specifically around the finances, and I think that's where the latest lot of the questions tonight have come from, is this scheme financially viable? Does it work essentially? Is it going to make money for us, or is it going to lose money in the long run, and is the whole project going to be delivered? That's what the scrutiny panel's looking at. So what I want to get a clear message from this meeting tonight to take back to the States, because States members will always stand up and say, I spoke to the public, and the public of St Brelard think this, where in reality it could just be one person they spoke to at Waitrose cheese counter. Or in most cases it's actually just their own opinion, and they've not spoken to anyone at all. So at least this will have some kind of democratic mandate. What I'm asking for tonight is that the States should actually wait until the scrutiny report has come out, read it, consider it before they make a decision. Now, I'm hearing that's what I'm asking the States to do. I'm hearing that the ministers are probably unlikely to support that. I can't think why they would want to do that, because otherwise why do we have a scrutiny function in the first place? So I'm not going to ask the parishioners of St Brelard to say yes or no, because you probably need more information. We need to await for the scrutiny report to come out, and that's what in a moment I will be asking for a show of hands. First of all from St Brelard residents, then from anyone, to see if they support that hopefully straightforward proposition. And before we do that, I'll just pass on to Graham and to John, and we can hopefully take a vote in about 5 to 10 minutes.
Thanks, Monty. I've got to thank you. Up until tonight, I'd actually only had 2 communications of parishioners regarding the whole Waterfront International Finance Centre. One was an email with concerns, and the other was a phone call. So tonight proves that obviously St Brelard there's an awful lot of concern. We're both opposite ends of the political scale, but believe me, we're both passionate Jerseymen. We love our parish. We were so concerned, and I think this has been a very useful exercise. You saw my words. There is a scrutiny currently underway. I've got a great deal of faith in Deputy John Lefondre. He's going to drill down on the facts and figures and examine the feasibility and the profitability of the whole scheme. And I think that is so important. There's so much at risk. We've got to get this right. Things aren't, financially things are difficult, so this has got to be absolutely spot on. the point you mentioned earlier, just we were there that day to deliberate on Building 5, and sadly our remit was that, not the whole project, which has actually been approved already. So, but there we go. Well, so thank you for coming tonight. And I think I've taken on board all of your concerns. I do sit on the Planning Applications Committee. I'm concerned. I've taken it all on board, so we'll take. I'm waiting for the scrutiny report, and we'll go from there. Thank you.